This is lesson 2 in our elementary school series, and we're going to do the alligator build with We Do and then program it with Scratch. I'm assuming that you've looked at the previous videos, lesson 1 and all the introductions, so that you understand the Scratch environment and what we've done thus far. I also am assuming that you have built the alligator, as you can see here in the video. If you have not built the alligator yet, then please go back, build the alligator in your training, and then come back. It's very important that you do build it so that you can help the students with the build as well. But what we're going to concentrate on here is the programming part. And so I'm going to go through this. And now that you're familiar with the environment, which is what I'm assuming, going through this should be relatively straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to make the alligator's mouth open when you click on the flag, the green flag, and then there is a distance sensor in its mouth, and when you get move an object inside of its mouth, we're going to close it. We're also going to add some sound, and I'm going to give you some suggestions as to what to have the students do and as an activity in the class, because this should be a relatively quick programming experience for the students, so they have some time at the end to get creative with it. So anyhow, I got my Scratch programming environment up here, as you can see. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Go to more blocks, go to my extensions, add my Lego We Do blocks. There they are. Now, and you notice here I got the green light, so that means everything's hooked up properly. The drivers are installed and everything's good, and this should be the case for you as well. So just to watch this happen, I'm going to slide this block over here and see what happens when I turn the motor on for 1 second. So I'm going to click this, and the mouth opens. And I notice that 1 second might be a little too long, so I'm going to dial this down here to 0.5. Now, you can do the same activity just as I do it with the students, but what I'm really doing is showing you how what my thinking is about this, and hope that you can build it into your own curriculum and how you want to teach the students. But anyhow, I think doing it for 0.5 seconds is probably the right way. Also, if you look, the motor direction right now is set to this way, and so that looks like that this way here is the proper direction for it to open. So if this way is the proper direction for it to open, then I'm going to come over here and set it. If I set it to that way for 0.5 seconds, that should close the mouth fairly well. So now let's click on this set of blocks, and you see the mouth just closed. Okay, so now here we go, open, and then here we go, close. All right, so that's good. We've got our open and close working. Now, the question is, when do we want to do each activity? Well, for the open, I want to do it, so I'll go up to events. I want to do it when I click on the flag. Okay, so I put that in there, and now when I click on the flag, the mouth will open. Okay, so that works fine. Well, when do I want the mouth to close? Well, now, if you look inside the mouth, and I don't know if you can see this here in the video, but if you look inside the mouth, right there, you can see that there's the distance sensor that we have hooked up. And if you did the build properly, you've got that hooked up. Move my wire out of the way. You've got that hooked up here to your control block, which sits slightly off the screen here. I can't see. That's the control block there. So you got that hooked up to your control block, and the computer should be reading that as well. And so let's talk about that sensor, because that's the sensor we want to use to control when the mouth closes. Okay. All right, so let's put this back sort of where we had it, so we can see everything working. There you go. All right, so now how do you deal with that sensor? Well, if you go over here and look at these gray blocks, you see that there's a distance block down here. If I click this, and let me make my side screen bigger here, you can see up here, if I check this distance, this gray distance oval here, put that check next to it, I can begin to read the distances that sensor is seeing. They show up here on the stage with the cat. And if you see me move my hand back and forth, if you look, you can see the distances changing. Now, I don't know what units those are, whether they're centimeters or inches, probably not inches, but it does give us some unit of measurement. Okay? And so I'm going to go here and see, okay, when I get inside the mouth, when I move my finger just inside the mouth, what distance am I? Well, I think, let's see, let me get it right here. it looks like about 20. So when I'm at about 20, right about here, somewhere around 21, I want to put 20. I'm right at the opening of his mouth. So let's say, let me grab this block. When distance is less than 20, and you can uh, talk about this point to your students. So when the distance, so this brings up the concept of greater than less than. Anything less than 20 is inside the mouth. Oops. And anything greater than 20 is outside the mouth. And you can see we got a little precursor there. So when I put this over here, when the distance sensor reads anything less than 20, it's going to close the mouth. Okay? And so here I click the green to open, or I double click this, click the green to open, and then if I get anything less than 20, it closes, right? It closes the mouth. So, I mean, that's simple. The students really like that. It's sort of cool. The whole trick is, can you put something inside the mouth and get your hand out enough time before you get chomped on? Okay, so to add to this, add a little bit of storytelling to this, a little creativity. Let's add some sound. So I'm going to go to sound. I'm going to go in here to sound library and the built-in sounds that are in here. Animal sounds, they have a chomp, so I'll get that. It sounds sort of like this. You probably can't hear that. Don't know how to make that show up on the computer or sound on the video better, but we're going to choose this sound, so I double click the chomp, and that's been added to my sounds. And then I'm going to go over here and also get, I want to get something when the mouth opens. I don't know. I'll make it say hey when the mouth opens. Okay, so hey. Okay, so maybe the alligator is trying to entice somebody or something to come into its mouth. So it says hey when the mouth opens, and when it closes, it's going to chomp. So now let's go back to scripts and let's add the sound. So I go over here to sounds, and I'm going to play the sound. So when the mouth opens, I'm going to play the sound hey, and when the mouth closes, I'm going to play the sound. I'm going to drop this and then change the sound played to chomp. Okay, so now I click on this, and I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I'm going to click on it. Let me turn my speakers up so you can hear it. Whoops. Hey! So it says hey, and then when I put my hand in, you get a little bit of a chomp sound. Okay? So you can let the students play around with whatever sounds they want. Once again, I would not get into having them make their own sounds, because then we have to pull out microphones and all that. That adds a little bit of complexity we don't want to do. But you could have them tell a story. You could actually have them, like I made this little sign here. Where is it? I made this little sign here, UGA, and I'm actually going to feed that to the alligator. So I'm going to open his mouth here. Oops. Hey! Oops, something happened wrong there. Hey! Okay, for some reason the mouth is not opening. Let's see. Hey! Okay, so it's open, and now I'm going to feed it UGA. Okay, they can make up stories. They can make up a whole diet for the alligator, what the alligators eat, and cut out things. If in preparation for the lab, you might want to get some sheets of paper, some markers, that kind of thing. So ask Annette and her students if we have some markers and pieces of paper, or the teacher in the classroom, that the students can sort of get creative with this and make some things to feed their alligators. So that pretty much sums up this week's lab. Very straightforward, allows you a lot of teaching leeway in terms of creativity of the students. I will have a printout of the program here so that you can see it and remember it. And you may have to adjust the time here and the distance, but play with that and have your kids experiment with it. And there you go. So thank you for teaching, changing lives, and good luck on this one.